but to not colored inside the lines. You know, my mom was born into a drinking fountain. They told her what fountain she could drink out of.
Okay.
Now we born into a vote. They literally call it the black vote.
Yeah.
And by the way, we blood of Christ. We blood of Moses. We're not just a color in a crayon box. And if we knew that, who we really were, we'd treat each other differently. We'd treat ourselves differently. So when you say, I'm black and I'm proud, like, but of what? What concept are we understanding? They say, go see the African History Museum. Why do they start when the boats came? Why don't they start with the drums?
When we was kings. And,
No, they don't want it, but we are kings. But the 400 years doesn't have to deal with slavery. It has to deal with the Bible. It has to deal with us being disobedient to God.
Right.
And that's why we farm land that isn't our own. Record labels, the NBA, Hollywood. These boys be scared. They be sitting there. Michael B. Jordan be telling my cousin, like, man, I want to do.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Rachapadash for the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the men of the Lord. Prophesying, preaching, and teaching on the highways and byways in sincerity and in truth. Shalom, Barakatham. And the video you just saw me play there was off of a podcast, NORE. It's called Drink Champs. You know, Nori, they have this podcast where they, you know, they just interview a bunch of hip hop artists. But you see, this Kanye West one is pretty popular. I mean, it's already got 2.5 million views, in just in less than a day, 19 hours. And what you just heard Kanye West basically say was that he was an Israelite, all right, and that we're the Israelites, you know. And you might ask, why hasn't he come out and said this before? Why doesn't he claim it? You know, because ultimately this guy, you know, the Most High uses people to accomplish the things that he needs them to accomplish, man. They're a means to an end. If the Most High can use Esau, all right, to accomplish his goals, then he can use a nigga like Kanye West to push out this truth. You can see this guy's bugged out. He's got patches in his head. You know, he's worth $6 billion. And he's through, man, you know, and in a lot of ways, the guy is brilliant in music and all of that. You know, he's a Jake, you know, he's a very gifted individual, but Esau, you know, has sunk his claws into him, and he's got a heavy demons on him, man. But you heard what this guy said, you know, he said it's not about the 400-year slavery. It's about us returning to our power, man, that we are the Hebrew Israelites, man. And so I thought I would just take this time to just go through some of the basics, you know, of Deuteronomy 28, because this is what the Most High promised us, man. This is Deuteronomy 28:1. It says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, the Lord Yahweh, thy power will see thee on high above all nations of the earth." All right. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, and if thou shalt hearken to the voice of the Lord thy power. All right. And then it lists all of the blessings that we would get, right, up to like verse 15. But verse 15, it says, "But if it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to observe to do all the commandments and statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come up on thee and overtake thee." All right. So it also says they will pursue thee. I believe. Yeah, verses. Yeah. Verse 45. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come up on thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." Man, that was straight to the Israelites directly. Now, when you read all of these curses, you'll see, look, verse 41, "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." You know, it says we're going to go into to slavery, to Egypt again on ships. All right. It's saying our eye will be evil towards our brother. We would suffer all of these things that only pertain to one people, which are the Israelites. And see, guys like this, Kanye West, they know this, man. A lot of these guys know what's going on, but Satan has got too hard of a grip on them for them to be able to come out and say it. And a lot of them just want to get paid. A lot of these niggas are weak. Kanye West is a wild card, right? He's one of the niggas that the elite have had a hard time trying to control, right? So he'll say it, you know. But these guys, Nori on the podcast, you know, they gonna hear that and it's gonna go in one ear and out the other, man. So we bring this out. This is another basic scripture, Hosea 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, and thou shalt be no priest to me." Because one thing Kanye said that was true is he said if we just knew who we were, we would be good. And we do know who we are, man. The word is out, you know. But see, Esau has got this witchcraft, this spell over everybody, and a lot of Jakes, you know, and it's through the hand of the Most High as well. A lot of Jakes ain't gonna be able to wake up, man. And for that lack of knowledge, we're destroyed, man. For going off, you know, thinking adultery is cool, thinking eating pork and all of this other bullshit, man. Vain things, idol worship. So all the plays that America's getting ready to have put on it, you know, we're gonna partake in it if we don't repent, you know. And I'm not partaking in it, Lord willing. I'm of the elect, you know. But the 2/3, our people, you know, the majority of our people are gonna suffer, man. It says, "Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children." All right. As they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory into shame. And that's the scenario that we find ourselves in today, that Kanye is describing here. You know, I'll forward it back. It's like the 31-minute and 55-second mark, just about.
She could drink out of.
Okay.
Now we born into a vote. They literally call it the black vote.
Yeah.
And by the way, we blood of Christ. We
Right.
blood of Moses.
Right.
We're not just a color in a crayon box. And if we knew that, who we really were, we'd treat each other differently. We'd treat ourselves differently. So when you say, I'm black and I'm proud, like, but of what? What concept are we understanding? They say, go see the African History Museum. Why do they start when the boats came? Why don't they start with the drums?
When we was kings. And,
No, they don't want it, but we are kings.
Mm-hmm.
But the 400 years doesn't have to deal with slavery. It has to deal with the Bible. It has to deal with us being disobedient to God.
Right.
And that's why we farm land that isn't our own. Record labels, the NBA, Hollywood. These boys be scared. They be sitting there. Michael B. Jordan be telling my cousin, like, man, I want to do what Ye do, but I'm just, you know, I'm right here. Or, you know, like, kept.
And that was basically it on that, man. You know, you heard him, all right? So, you know, the Most High is putting this truth out there, man. You know? I think this is Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3. Zephaniah 3:19, it says, "Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee, and I will save her that halteth, and that gather her that was driven out, and I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame." All right, so this Kanye West situation, this could spur out to a lot more Jakes waking up. They're gonna be like, "Oh, what is he talking about? Or where are the people?" You know, and you'll notice a lot of these Amalekites, they're quiet a lot of times, you know, and unless you come out and attack them directly, they won't mention anything about this because they don't want to even have the conversation. They don't even want to have the argument. All right, but it's gonna come a day where it's gonna be known that who we are. All right, let me get that real quick. And what's that? Salakia. Is that Hosea 1? Is that Hosea 10, Salakia? Is it Lo Ami? Hosea 1, Salakia. I passed it up, moving too quick, Salakia Akim. It says, Isaiah 1 and 8, it says, now when she had weaned La Rohama, she conceived and bare a son. Then God said, call his name Lo Ami, for ye are not my people. And that's what Lo Ami means. It goes into La'ah, which means not. And then the Ami, I forget the actual Hebrew word, but it basically goes into people. That's La'ah, means no or not. All right, and this means people, a nation. You know, so that's what the Lo Ami means. And it says, and I will not be your God. Why? Because the Most High forsook us, man. Because we broke all of the law, statutes, and commandments. The Lord said, if you didn't keep all of them, these curses are going to pursue you. We didn't keep not one of them, man. Everything we could have went off on, man, Jake went off on, man. And what happened? The Lord gave us over to those curses. It says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass. So we're going to grow rapidly still, that in that place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God, man. And we're in that time, man. This is going to be the time where Jake gets recognized for who his true identity is. Because the biggest crime Esau committed against us, it wasn't even the physical abuse and the chattel slavery and the rape and the murder. It was the robbing of our identity, the robbing of our names, our culture, our heritage, the gaslighting us into thinking us we're just a bunch of fucking jungle Hamites, you know, changing our name. This is some bullshit, man. But the Lord is gonna restore us, man. And it started with that remnant going back to what seeded the One West movement. It started them back from Ab Bivens, you know, all the way down to the 7 to One West to Great Millstone, who has 100% truth today, man. This thing, when you read Ezekiel 37, all right, and I won't go into it. I just wanted to keep this short to break this news for brothers that haven't seen it. But when you read Ezekiel 37, that's nobody but us, man. Who else lost their identity? Elam can tell you who he is, man. He can tell you he's a Persian. All right, the Greeks can go back to their identity and trace it back to Esau, but he's not going to tell you he's Esau. You know? The Medes, they can trace their identity back. Cush, the Cushites in Ethiopia, they can trace their identity back. You have to ask yourself, why us of all people was it with the niggas in West Africa? All of a sudden, we're just this amalgamation of a people on a continent. There's no such thing as tribes or differences. You know, Esau relegated everybody into 5 colors using a caste system: white, yellow, red, brown, and black. All right, with white at the top, okay, and that's what he called himself. All right, at the top of the caste system. All right, and that's where you get the concept of white supremacy. He came up with those 5. India has a very similar caste system. All right, it's just a pyramid. All right, all right. You have 4. You have the Brahmins. This is over there in India, Elam. The Dalits, they're also known as the Untouchables. All right, that's what Esau made us. He made a group called white to sit up here at the top, and then he made a group called the black, and he put us at the bottom. And then you had brown and red and yellow, you know, going up. You know, now he shitted on everybody, but some worse than others, man. If you got considered in the black category, then you went into hardcore chattel slavery. If you were like in the brown category, he would just take your land, he would take your women. He would, you know, and that's what basically happened to Gad and the Northern Kingdom. And he murdered all of us mercilessly, you know. But Esau came up with that, man. And why did he come up with that, man? Because we are a people, man. But the Lord said he's going to restore us. He's going to restore our name. He's going to restore our heritage. We're going to remember ourselves. All right, I'm going to get that. I was going to close it off on that, but This is the last precept. This is Baruch. We all probably, not we all, but most brothers know this, you know. This is Baruch 2:30. It says, "For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." Now these so-called, you know, Israelis, I'll just call them, when did they ever lose their identity? They claim to be able to have a scroll that can go back 600 generations. You know, they say we got a scroll. Look, we can go all the way back to when he's Levi and I'm Judah and I'm Benjamin. You know, they don't even claim to this because why? Because they don't dig into prophecies. But the scriptures say that we would go into captivity, we would forget who we were for a period of time, and the Lord will come back and restore us, man. Let's read this one more time. We'll close it out. Baruch 2:30 says, "For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves." All right? These Amalekites never went into captivity, all right? They were persecuted for a period of time over in Europe in a certain event that I won't mention. You can't really say on YouTube that it was bullshit basically, you know. And a lot of you your people portrayed yourselves because you had a sect of these Amalekites that are so-called Zionists, and then you have some that are not. They were basically like not like atheists, but they were like secular. You know, they didn't care about going back to the land. Everybody who wasn't with going back into the land, that's who got the, you know, got the treatment from the man with the mustache. I'll just say that, you know. And the number that there was is way exaggerated of how many died. Okay, it says, verse 31, "And shall know that I am the Lord their power, and I will give them in heart and ears to hear." And we, the men of the Lord willing, I'm of that number, man. We have the ears to hear now, man. When we realize what we did, man, it literally can bring you to tears, because you realize how fucked up we've been acting, you know, and how much mercy the Most High has actually had despite slavery, you know. And now we're hearing it. Now we're turning around away from this place and we're condemning it. We don't want nothing to do with it. You know, you guys that are talking about, you know, just live your life here. Y'all in the wrong spirit, man. It says, "And they shall praise me in the land of their captivity and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers which sinned before the Lord." And that's the men of the Lord over here in Babylon, man. You know, mainly the mainly Great Millstone. All right, now you got brothers of the elect in every camp, you know, but who is pushing the truth the heaviest? Who's got the spirit on them the heaviest of diligence, man, and giving it to you raw and uncut, you know? And there's members of the elect all over, man. They're all over the world, but you're starting to see Jake wake up, man. So this is just this Kanye guy, man. He's you know, I doubt he's of the elect. The Most High probably just used him, you know. But y'all brothers, let me know what y'all think about this situation. So with that, hopefully I will edified. Call halal Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rachak Wadash wa Abba Babal. Shalom.